What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video. I'm Michigan Sports Talk here, and in this one we got a Michigan basketball report as we go over the race for first place in the Big Ten. We go over Michigan's path to not only an outright Big Ten title but also a potential share. We also preview a little bit of the big showdown Friday night against Michigan State, what the Wolverines have to do in that one, and also the extra motivation the players are receiving right now. We also got some recruiting news on another 7-footer for the Wolverines locking in a visit. It's all going to be in this video and more, so let's go ahead and get right into it here. And we'll first start with the race in the Big Ten for first place. The Wolverines currently stand at 12-2 in conference play. Michigan State right behind them at 12-3. Wisconsin is actually the third spot right now at 11-4. Purdue has dropped down to the fourth spot, 11-5, followed by Maryland at 10-5, and currently those are the top 5 seeds at this moment. Now obviously we're gonna find out a lot more tomorrow night in the showdown between Michigan and Michigan State. Whoever wins that game will be in first place in the Big Ten and will obviously control their destiny. Now Michigan State play each other twice here, so they play Friday night and the last game of the season. Currently Michigan has 6 games remaining. Michigan State has 5 games remaining. Purdue only has 4 games, and also Maryland has 5 games. They are still in the mix there in the Big Ten, and quite frankly they have an easier schedule compared to the rest of the teams at the top. So that's where we stand right now. Now Michigan does stand in a good spot, and if they can pick up a win against Michigan State Friday night, that is going to be very huge for the Wolverines, and in my eyes almost locks up a share of the Big Ten this season. Now obviously they will want to win it outright, but former Michigan head coach John Beilein, who is currently an analyst on the Big Ten Network, he was on the huge show hosted by Bill Simonson, and he said that I think that 4 losses is gonna win it outright and 5 would be a share. He did say I think Michigan can lose 2 more and still win it all. They're really in a good situation right now. They don't lose a tiebreaker with anybody currently, and obviously these 2 games are, like my last year when Michigan State swept us, that you play them and it could come down to the outright championship on the last day of the season. Now he obviously knows this rivalry between Michigan and Michigan State, how physical it's going to be. He said, it's just a mindset that Michigan's got to have in these 2 games, that you're going to go in there and you got to go in with a lot of force and play with great force throughout the game to win. He did say that I'm going to be there Friday at the game. I will be cheering ferociously for Michigan in these 2 games. So again, I'll put the schedules up on the screen, but Michigan, they play Michigan State tomorrow night. If they win, they will go to 13-2. Michigan State will drop down to 12-4, and the Wolverines will have a game and a half lead over Michigan State, but basically a 2-game lead over everybody with just 5 games remaining, and those 5 games consist of on the road against Nebraska, home against Rutgers, which they already beat this season, and then home against Illinois, home against Maryland, and then on the road against Michigan State. Not only that, but Michigan State has a very tough schedule. In fact, the toughest between all the top teams. They play Michigan, then they go on the road against Maryland, home against Wisconsin, on the road against Iowa, and then home against Michigan. And then obviously Purdue, they have 5 losses already, so if they lose another one, they are in big trouble. But they play Indiana, UCLA, Rutgers, and Illinois, which is a pretty favorable schedule for them down the stretch. And you look at Maryland, they play USC, Michigan State, Penn State, Michigan, and Northwestern. Obviously the 2 games that really matter there is Michigan State and Michigan. If they run the table, they could win the Big Ten as well. Obviously they could, or they may need some more help. But then you look at Wisconsin, they play Oregon, Washington, Michigan State, Minnesota, and Penn State, which is also a pretty favorable schedule for them. The toughest games there is Oregon and Michigan State. But again, Michigan State currently at the top. It's going to be a huge game on Friday night, and if the Wolverines get the job done, I do believe they probably lock up a share in the Big Ten and obviously put themselves in a fantastic position to win the Big Ten outright this season. And even John Beilein said that he believes that 4 losses will win the Big Ten outright, and believes that all Michigan has to do is go 4-2 down the stretch to earn the outright crown. So let me know what you guys think. That is Michigan's path, and again, big one tomorrow night. It's going to be an electric atmosphere at Chrysler. A maze out. That place is going to be rocking just like it was against Purdue. It's going to be another game in the Chrysler Center for first place in the Big Ten. Now, Dusty May knows how big this game is. The coaching staff, all the players know. I mean, Dusty May even said that, he turned the page right away after the win against Ohio State to this game. Now, the players had motivation against Purdue. Reuben Jones even said they play the highlights from their loss, their 27-point loss at Purdue all week throughout the gym. They had the score in their lockers, so it was just motivation for the team. They really wanted to go out, get revenge. They got it, and now against Michigan State, Nimari Burnett is one player who was on last season's team, and he said, I've definitely had, honestly, all of the games marked on my calendar that we didn't win against last year, whatever the team was, but especially the two matchups that we have against them. He said that we watched some of their games this year, so that's one aspect of it. Another aspect is talking to alums and them giving their own individual feedback from their experiences here at Michigan. And also, he said, in all our locker rooms right now we have papers of the returners from last year. We have papers of the scores from last year, and the rest of the guys have photos of Michigan State fans, Michigan State players just taunting us. So I think that all gets us pumped up for the game. He said whether we're playing for first place or fifth place, this is the one, and we're very excited for it. So the Wolverines, coaching staff, players adding more fuel to the fire for this team. And the keys for the Wolverines in this one, they may need some more help from their bench. As Michigan assistant coach Kyle Church, he said we want to get up and down the floor. We got a bunch of good ball handlers, a bunch of good athletes in transition, but obviously they are as well. They know that Michigan State's great in transition. He said, their depth allows them to be so persistent in transition and on the offensive glass. Now, he did reveal that Sam Walters will likely miss his third straight game as he's dealing with a back issue, but Wolverines could turn to, again, freshman guard LJ Kaysen, Justin Pippen, also potentially freshman guard Fat Brooks, who hasn't gotten much playing time but could use him off the bench. And he said all those guys need to be ready because I think you'll probably see more subbing. Just the amount of time you can stay on the court against Michigan State is not that long because they ask so much of you physically, so we're definitely going to have really good depth. Now, Michigan State struggles shooting the ball from three, so that's going to be, I'm sure, an emphasis for this team. They like to attack the rim, and I think Vlad Golden, Danny Wolf going to have big games in this one, protect the rim. If they can do that, Wolverines have a fantastic shot at winning this game. But, they also need to not turn the ball over. That's been a problem all season long. Michigan State, good in transition. You do not want to give them easy free points. So it's going to be a fun one. Absolutely cannot wait. It's going to be electric. And to end this video, I did want to talk about some recruiting news for Michigan basketball. The 2025 7-foot center, hopefully I say his name right, Alexa Dimitrievich, who's a 7-foot professional basketball player from Serbia and is exploring the college route as a 2025 prospect. He has scheduled several visits. According to Joe Tipton of On3, he is scheduled to be at Michigan February 21st for the Michigan State game, and then also he's taking visits to Creighton in Illinois. Now, Dimitrievich agent Steven Petrovic told 24/7 Sports that these schools are deep into the recruiting process with Alexa, and the coaches are talking to him every other day on a weekly basis. And obviously, Michigan has two 7-footers right now out of Danny Wolf and Vlad Golden. He would fit in perfectly for the Wolverines and Dusty May. So Michigan potentially getting another 7-footer from a very talented professional basketball player from Serbia, and he'll be at the Michigan State basketball game tomorrow night. Can't wait for that one. Gonna be a huge showdown. And with that, that's gonna wrap up this video. Hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, make sure to go ahead, drop a like, comment down below, and subscribe for more. If you are new around here, I'd really appreciate it, and we will see you guys in the next video. Go Blue.